Ladies and gentlemen, in today's debate, we in the side government are going for the higher value of a more just case and a more democratic society. Before moving on to our third argument, which is going to be about the social implications, the social messages the jury will send to society, I would like to first rebut to a few points made by the opposition side. They have come up through in today's debate to show how more objective the law is and how the judge would be a more objective way to criminalize or to penalize these certain criminals. However, we have to know that even if there are certain laws, the way of interpreting those laws can be different from judge to judge. So if we're talking about how biased the jury can be, then it's exactly the same how biased the judge can be, and how different each judge could actually solve a case, and how different the laws could be interpreted to solve a certain case. And they have a certain assumption that judges are the the people of highest morality with the most highest of obligation to make a case be solved more just. However, even in today's society, we see cases where judges are even sued and fired for making biased decisions. That completely goes against their assumption of how judges are so objective. On the other hand, we present you with an idea of a jury where 12 ignorant and completely randomly selected people come to the court to actually judge on a court case. With that, if we have these more people, then not only, as we have said, a more democratic message could be sent, but it would be more objective because the opposition side today seems to think that these 12 people are completely ignorant of all of the judiciary system and stuff. But then we have already clearly stated that they go through a certain educational system, and they're educated, but even before the court case, so they have the complete they are completely educated enough to make a more objective and just decision. And because with the idea of diversity, and we can see how the society thinks in today's in the status quo, by having 12 people in the court case and seeing and listening to their decisions to a certain court case, we could see how different people can think of a certain case and see what the society actually thinks in the status quo, which goes for our most primary value of democracy.
Before you go on, sir.
Yes, sir.
If your case is true, then why do we even have judges in the first place?
Because as we go on the line of your side's logic, these judges go through this competitive thing of education. The jury themselves are not there to actually penalize whether they have a 3-month penalty of being jailed or a 4-month penalty of being jailed, but the most basic and fundamental decision of a certain criminal, whether they're innocent or guilty or not. That is why we have the judge still there to actually go with that and actually penalize them more specifically with the law that they are trying to go for. And also, the opposition side has tried to come up and talk about international court cases, but we believe that is an extremely exceptional case, which is completely irrelevant in today's debate. So moving on to our final and third argument of what the jury would send in today's society. As we already have said, in a democracy, we need people to participate more in our society, to make better decisions and stuff. That is why we have voting. So we could actually pick our leaders and actually show the society's thoughts so that we could be ruled actually by the people. And as I have already said, if we have the jury, a 12 diverse with different thoughts, people with different thoughts, then we could actually hear what the society thinks of a certain court case. Because in the status quo, we see people looking at the television, looking at the news, and criticizing people in different ways of what the criminals have done. And through the jury, we could actually listen and see what these people are actually thinking about in the status quo. Not only do we not get to hear about them, we could actually get the public and the society more interested and more active in the part of the law. With these more people, as we have said, if more people are participating in democracy, we could go for better policies and better laws. And in that same line of logic, we could get a more just and more objective judicial system if we have more people interested and more actively participating in this certain kind of subject. So with more developed democracy, we could have people be more participated and raise awareness. The third level analysis is that if we have more people aware of how the judicial system is running, we can have a more transparent case where the public can actually see for themselves what's going on in the court cases themselves. Not just hearing from the news what that criminal got, like a death penalty or not, or a death sentence or not, we could actually have the people go into the court cases themselves and be more actively aware and participate more into what is actually happening, thus having a more transparent and a more publicized, is that even a word, but more transparent more transparent court case where we actually have the citizens and the people themselves participate in these court cases. So we have told you today that we go for the value of democracy, where people actually can participate and say their voice and present their ideas through the system of the jury with 12 people of different and various thoughts to a certain criminal case, so that we could see what the society has to say about certain people and certain subjects in today's scope, which the opposition side is trying to neglect. So because we are going for the higher moral ground, and because even if with that subject made somewhere like with that neglected, we have presented you that the jury is as objective as what the opposition side is trying to say, so that because we have more on our scale, we believe that we won this debate. Thank you.
Thank you.